We live in an age where silence feels dangerous. The moment things get quiet, we reach for a screen. The second boredom creeps in, we swipe, scroll, refresh. We are the first generation addicted not to a substance, but to stimulation itself. Every ding, every vibration, every flash of color is a hit of dopamine, the brain's reward chemical. It feels small, harmless, even normal. But the truth is, it's rewiring us. We've become the dopamine generation, chasing that next tiny surge of pleasure, never realizing how much of our focus, discipline, and peace we're trading for it. Psychologically, dopamine isn't the chemical of happiness, it's the chemical of anticipation. It doesn't reward us for achieving something. It pushes us to seek something. That's why one more scroll feels irresistible. One more video turns into 20, and 1 hour disappears without memory. We're not enjoying, we're chasing. The modern world is engineered for that chase. Every app, every feed, every notification is designed to keep your brain slightly unsatisfied, just enough to want more. You never feel full. You only feel the need to return. That's not accident. It's design. Tech companies know the brain's pathways better than most therapists. They've built systems that hijack them. And the younger generations, Gen Z especially, have never known life before that hijacking. Their first friendships were online. Their first validation came from likes. Their first heartbreak was digital silence. The neural pathways of pleasure and identity have become intertwined with technology itself. The phone isn't just a tool anymore, it's an emotional organ. That's the terrifying truth. We no longer check our phones, we check ourselves through them. Each notification is a tiny confirmation that we still exist in someone else's world. And every moment without it feels like disappearing. So the brain panics. It seeks a hit, any hit. Dopamine becomes the leash, and distraction becomes the cage. But here's where the psychology cuts deeper. Constant dopamine overstimulation doesn't make you happier. It dulls your capacity to feel. Over time, your brain adapts. The receptors that once lit up from simple joys, a walk, a conversation, a thought, now need stronger triggers. The baseline of satisfaction rises, meaning peace feels like boredom. Stillness feels unbearable. Focus becomes impossible. This is why so many people today, especially younger ones, can't sit still, can't read, can't think deeply without background noise. Their brains have been trained for bursts, not flow. Instant reward, not patience. The nervous system lives in a constant state of anticipation, always reaching for the next high, never learning to rest in the now. The result is emotional numbness, disguised as hyperactivity. We move more, feel less. We know more, understand less. We chase everything, connect to nothing. And it's not because we're broken, it's because our environment is designed to keep us that way. We've become overstimulated to the point of emptiness. The modern world offers endless pleasure, yet leaves us starving for meaning. That's the paradox of the dopamine age. The more you feed the brain's craving, the hungrier it becomes. You can tell the brain is addicted when silence feels threatening. Most people can't go 10 minutes without checking something, not because they're busy, but because their nervous system doesn't know what to do without stimulation. That's not weakness. That's conditioning. The brain has learned that quiet means withdrawal, and withdrawal means discomfort. When dopamine floods the system constantly, it doesn't just reshape how we spend our time, it reshapes how we feel. Real life starts to feel too slow. Real people seem too complicated. Real happiness feels too subtle to register. The brain begins to crave intensity, not intimacy. It prefers novelty over depth. The next post, the next message, the next hit. It doesn't matter what it is, as long as it's new. Psychologists call this the novelty loop. It's a state where your brain is permanently scanning for the next source of stimulation. That's why it's easier to start 5 things than finish 1. Why deep work feels impossible. Why patience feels like pain. The reward circuits have been rewired for immediacy. Anything that takes time, growth, love, discipline, purpose begins to feel unnatural. And this is where the trap deepens. Because dopamine doesn't care about the quality of the reward, only the chase. You can scroll for hours, accomplish nothing, and still feel the illusion of productivity. You can consume constant content about motivation, healing, and success, yet never act because your brain has already received the reward from watching, not doing. We've built a society that worships dopamine while starving serotonin. Serotonin is the chemical of peace, of satisfaction, of earned contentment. But it requires slowness, effort, connection, everything dopamine undermines. When dopamine dominates, you stop doing things for fulfillment and start doing them for feedback. You stop living for experience and start living for metrics. This is why modern burnout feels different. It's not just physical or emotional, it's existential. We're not tired from working too hard. We're tired from never truly resting. Even leisure has become performance. We film our vacations, post our meals, curate our peace. The brain never gets to exhale. The reward system is always active, even in rest. And yet, the cure isn't abstinence, it's awareness. You can't delete your way back to humanity. You have to relearn how to feel without needing to be fed. That means sitting in silence, at first painfully. It means letting boredom return. Because boredom isn't useless, it's the space where imagination begins. It's the soil where creativity grows. When you stop chasing constant stimulation, the first thing you feel is emptiness. But that emptiness is detox. It's the brain remembering how to breathe. Slowly, you start noticing things again. The warmth of sunlight, the texture of sound, the peace of unfiltered thought. Those are the sensations dopamine had drowned out. Rebalancing the brain means giving pleasure back its weight. When everything feels like a high, nothing does. But when you space out your highs, life begins to taste again. The meal feels richer when it's not consumed in front of a screen. The conversation feels deeper when there's no phone between words. Joy becomes real again when it's no longer an algorithm's side effect. The most dangerous lie of the dopamine era is that happiness is found in speed. The truth is the opposite. The slower you move, the clearer you see. The quieter you become, the louder life feels. But most people are terrified of what they'll hear in that silence. Their real thoughts, their real fears, their real emptiness. So they run back to stimulation, mistaking distraction for comfort. But every time you choose stillness over scrolling, you take a piece of yourself back. You remind your nervous system that peace isn't boredom, it's healing. You remind your brain that fulfillment isn't loud, it's subtle, slow, earned. The dopamine generation isn't doomed. They're just disconnected. They've been taught that peace is unproductive and silence is scary. But the truth is, what feels uncomfortable at first is actually the doorway back to freedom. Because when you finally stop chasing stimulation, you rediscover something, far more powerful: presence. And presence is where life actually happens. It's where love feels real again, where effort feels rewarding again, where the noise finally fades and you realize you never needed more dopamine, you just needed less distraction. This isn't a generation of addicts. It's a generation that's been overstimulated into numbness, desperate to feel alive again. And that means the antidote isn't more content, more noise, more novelty. It's learning to exist in the spaces between. Because the most rebellious thing you can do in a world addicted to stimulation is to be still. And maybe that's the real revolution, to stop chasing the next hit and start feeling what it means to be human again.